Good evening, y'all, from Houston, Texas. Happy July 4th. Hope everybody had a wonderful day. I'd like to share a quick, short, and powerful Torah insight. I would like to preface by mentioning that my best friend from growing up's dad was unfortunately passed away this week, and I'd like to dedicate this shiur and this Torah idea to him. His name was Aryeh Yisrael ben Mordechai. His soul should have an elevation. The idea that I'm going to be talking about is an idea which hit me this week because when I was thinking about my friend's dad, I remembered him and this specific idea which we're going to talk about, and I'd like to explain that Torah idea and have that be as a memory for him and an elevation for his soul. The Torah tells us that there's a dispute amongst the sages, a three-way dispute as to what the most important verse in the Torah is. One of the sages tell us that it's the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, the famous Shema, Hear O Israel, I am your God. The second sage tells us that it's the first of the 10 commandments, which begins by God at Sinai telling us, I took you out of Egypt, I am Hashem your God. And the third seems to be very out of place, a very peculiar verse, which talks about the sacrificial offering every morning and every afternoon that the Kohen brought in the temple. He brought what's known as the Karban, the sacrifice of the Tamid, every single morning and every single afternoon. And the question, which all the commentaries deal with, is how does that third verse hold any weight to the Shema Yisrael or to the beginning of the 10 Commandments, where God tells us for the first time to all the Jewish people, what's known as the Sinaitic revelation, I am Hashem your God who took you out of Egypt. And the answer that they give, which is a very powerful insight to our lives, is that every single day, the Kohen, no matter what, no matter where, no matter when, every single morning and every single afternoon was delivering this service in the temple, bringing this, what's known as the Karban Tamid. It didn't make a difference what was going on in his life. It didn't make a difference that there was chaos going on in the temple. They lived lives, things happened, but no matter what, no matter where, no matter when, the Kohen was obligated 24/7, twice a day, to bring this sacrifice. And what the Torah is teaching us here is the lesson of what I like to call constantly consistent or consistently constant. If a person does something every day, day in and day out, for his spiritual growth or in any area in his life, he's going to be successful. Nothing is going to come in the way of a person doing this twice a day or once a day or twice a week, whatever it might be, but keeping something consistently constant, that's going to be the greatest thing that a person can do for his personal growth. And like I mentioned in the beginning, my friend's dad, who unfortunately passed away this week, what I have always thought about him and remembered this week is that every single morning, it was 6 o'clock, 6:30, whenever it was, he would be up wherever he was in the world for his what's known as the Daf Yomi Shiur, learning one page of Talmud every day. I think it was over 30 years that he did this. And he actually finished the Talmud in its entirety a few times, and he was a regular businessman, regular working person like all of us, but he dedicated himself to giving time, 40 minutes a day, an hour a day, however long the class was, to do this piece of Talmud, and he became a great Talmudic scholar because of it. But the lesson that I've always learned from him is that the only way he did this was by being consistently constant and on a daily basis, no matter what was going on in his life. It was the day of his kid's wedding. It was the day of a very big closing of a deal. Nothing made a difference. Nothing got in his way from performing this act of what he had as his, what was important to him on a daily basis, learning this piece of Talmud. So may his soul have an elevation again, and may we all learn from this lesson in life and try to incorporate it into our daily lives. Have a wonderful night.